Bheki Mavundla, Managing Director or owner of Bheki Labor Law and HR Consultants from Cosmo City. Okay. You want to say it for me? So yes, you see, when I started Chief, I did not start in what I am doing now. I started years back because when I started, I started as a security guard. I was a security guard, or to give it a better name, a security officer. You understand? That was in 1998, I think. Yeah, 1998, right at the dome here. So there was a casino there. They used to call it the Dome, but now it moved from there to Monte Casino Foyes. So that's the very same casino. So that's why I started there with security. We used to guard parking. Start the parking is a balloon. I understand that for about a year or so. And then one other day, after 2 years, that was in 2000, late 2000. This other manager, may he so rest in peace, Jennifer started. He then said to me, look, young man, I've realized that there's a potential in you. You understand? Will you be interested to come and work at casino? And I said, but I don't have any understanding in terms of how casino operates. He said, no, we'll put you training. If you've gone through the ticket selection, you've passed everything, and you're satisfied that you can work with us, then we'll train you. He said, look, I've been interacting with you. You're a sharp guy. You do your job with passion. But no, I was security. I'm security. You're doing your job with passion, and you look very young. I was a little tiny boy, slender, but we don't mind to develop you. And then I went through the target selection interviews. I got the job, but I didn't have any idea what basically if you're a slots attendant in the so Bangfaga, then from there the requirements for one to work in the casino industry, you have to apply for what we call a gambling license. So they vet you, understand, the criminal records, etc., etc. And then I was clean, and then my license came out, and then I was hired by Sandom Casino. That time it was called Sandom Casino. And then they trained me. They put me through a training of being a slots attendant, just to pay jackpots. To customers, assist customers with any technical issues on the machine, just minor technical issues on the machine. And then I started in December 2000, yes, and then they moved to Monte Casino Foyes. And that's where I worked there for 4 years in the same position. And then they advertised for a position of someone to be a supervisor in that department, slot supervisor. There were so many of us, and I think the head count there as attendance was about 100 and something. So they advertised for a position for, I think, 3 or 4 supervisors. They wanted 3 or 4 supervisors. Then I applied for the position. Not that I was applying for the first time. I had applied on so many occasions, but I could not get the position. But I did not lose hope, because I still believed in myself that one day I would become a supervisor. And then I became a supervisor. They appointed me in 2004. I became a supervisor. But then I realized that, this I will do for a living, but that's not what I want. You understand? I want to venture into something else, because my view was I can't just be an employee for the rest of my life. And there were other programs which were created by the employer for IDP, or individual development programs. If you want to be developed, there was something on offer for you, you understand? Then I spoke to my HOD. I said I want to venture into law, you understand? But now for now, I don't have money to do that. They tried to assist me there and there. I pushed, but I could not get assistance. That was 2004, and the money which I was earning at that time was not that much. In 2004, I became a father as well, you understand, and the responsibilities, they were high. And I worked with my wife. Again, I forgot to tell you that, because we're both security guards. We started together. The first time I saw her was in 1998 at the Dome. We worked together as security guards. In 2000, when I was hired to become a slots attendant, she was also hired to become a cashier. They called them cashiers at Casino. And then when I moved to Monty, she became a cashier also at Monty, and then I was at the slots. So 2004 up to 2010. In 2010, I applied. There was a position again for slots manager, slot shift manager. But in those years, I'd already been trying for the last 6 years to get in that position, and I could not. When I could not, look, sometimes you get bitter that I should have got that position. There's favoritism there and there, but I did not lose hope. And then in 2010, I got appointed as a slot shift manager. One of the slot shift managers was there about 20 or so. But I said, look, I'm still not getting what I want. And then I said, look, let me register with UNISA. Then I did my labor law with UNISA. I paid from my own pocket. We had to make sure that we don't eat. Yeah, I got my advanced labor law with UNISA. And then a year later, there was a program which was done through empowerment by the employer, and then I was selected to be part of that program to develop you as a manager, etc., etc. But it was done through West Business School, business management program, basically. So I was one of the nominees. I was nominated, then I graduated at West Business School for business management. But that was still not what I want. I still look. I wanted in life to go solo and be alone and create a legacy, build an empire for my kids, for my wife, for the family, for isizukulwana sasithathu, you understand? But with the salary, I realized I could not do it. Understand? I had not that my salary was bad. It was, I think, at that time my salary was good. Understand? I could survive on it, but I realized no, my passion is not there. I must create employment for other people. I must leave a legacy. Then I did my postgraduate diploma in labor law. I registered with that with EUJ because I wanted to continue practicing in labor law. Understand? And then I graduated, and then I also did my law EUJ. And then with in 2014, yes. 2014, I felt so frustrated at Monte Casino. Not that the employer was frustrating me, but I thought that I've overstayed. I've managed to achieve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wanted to build my career through labor law because I had a passion. I had a lot of passion in assisting employees and making sure there's labor peace at the workplace. That is why the name Guru came from. My name is not Guru. Yes, my name is Bheki, but Guru came from employees nicknamed me Guru because they thought that whatever issues which they had, somehow I try and assist them. And so both the employer and the employee had confidence in me in terms of how I can assist employees. So in 2014, then I had a discussion with my wife. I said, look, I'm tired. I'm tired. Are you saying to me I cannot make the same salary outside? Then she said, how are you going to make that same salary? I said, no, I'm not interested about the gross, the net. Are you saying I cannot make the net of my salary outside? Then she said, you can take a chance. Then I quit my job. That was in 2014. I quit my job in 2014. I got my pension fund. They call it provident fund. They call it provident fund, pension fund. It was not that much. It was not that much in 2014. And then in 2015, I registered my company, Bheki Labor Law and HR Consultants. I toyed around with ideas. It was registered in Feb. I went aggressively into marketing a company. I went print media. I even came to you guys. I lost money on you. I got one client. I went to do print media. There was another company, I just forgot that other company, they were doing it online for me, but I was not reaping the rewards. And then I started to do my own marketing created a Facebook page, etc., etc., and then I started marketing my business. Look, God is great. I'm not saying by marketing my business, I managed to get clients, but it just happened. When I started, my aim was to assist employees. My aim was to fight for the employees' rights. Because I realized that employees at the workplace, their rights were being infringed. And their hope was only unions. So I had an idea whether to start a union or not to start a union. But I realized, no, let me not venture into that space of unionism. Then I said, let me assist employees. Then when I started, I assisted employees. Went to CCMA to assist them in their cases. But to be honest with you, I realized that it's so difficult to survive. Because with employees, someone is dismissed from work, understand? In as much as you want to assist employees, but are you going to be able to put bread and butter into your family? Then I changed my business model. Then I said, I'm now assisting both employer and employees. So lucky enough, my scope was very, very wide, very big, because now I started chairing disciplinary hearings for certain companies, etc., etc. My first year wasn't that bad. I don't want to lie to you. My first year wasn't that bad. Was if I compare my salary, my annual salary, and what I did on my first year, it was about ×2 or ×3. So it wasn't that bad, and I had few clients. And to be honest with you, some clients, I just don't know how they ended up calling Bheki Guru to come and assist. Then the next year, which was 2016 financial year, 2016 financial year, my business grew. Because I started to have lots of clients, and by having lots of clients, a word of mouth spreads, you understand? Then I started having people working for me. And look, I don't have employees working for me. I've got consultants. Yeah, I've got consultants. I don't have employees. So you'll have your attorneys, your IR, HR consultants, etc. So they work on their own. Maybe they work from they work from my office up. But when I've got a job, that's when I call you. Understand? With the chief, there's a job which you need to do. You need to go to labor court. Please go do this. There's a case at the CCMA. You need to go do this. You understand? But my passion at that time I developed a passion of training. Then I said, instead of me going to my CCMA now and then doing 1, 2, 3, 4, why can't I do training? Because I speak better. I'm like a motivational speaker. And I said, let me preach the word of labor law. And assist my employers. Understand? With training, assist the employers. In terms of the law, this is how employees should be treated, etc., etc. And now as an employee, these are your rights, etc., etc. So we can have that labor piece. And I started marketing training, and then my training has become big now. So I do a lot of workshops, not only in South Africa. I travel English-speaking countries, Ghana, Uganda, Botswana, Namibia, etc., etc. So I do a lot of workshops. Njengamanje, I was in PE for 3 days doing workshops on different topics, you understand? And now my company is also registered with CETA, an accreditation as CETA, as a skills development provider to train our employees and employers based on certain topics. So 2016 years, yakhula ke company ka Bheki Guru. Yakula 2017, which is last year. Last year was big. Yeah, last year then that's why Bheki Guru was big, even in terms of financials. And then that's when we started to say we can even give back something to the community. You understand? Instead of me donating money to ANC, understand? Because I'm a member of the ANC, so that when there's something else, they ask for fundraising, etc. So I said, no, but I can donate to the community and give back to the community. And that's when I started no child must go to school without shoes. You understand? And then depending on our monthly budget, say keep imali. We speak nesikolo, so you should like depend on the budget. Maybe for argument's sake, this month we'll donate 80 pairs of shoes. Then they'll have to identify. They'll have to identify with abantwana abacabanga ukuthi mhlambe bayasokola kakhulu ngobani, and then we donate icathulo eyikolweni. So 5 donated to 2 primary schools. At Cosmo there's 3 primary schools. So there's another one. Yeah, so my aim would be before probably next month, June or July, I must finish my primary schools, you understand? And then from there, going forward up to December. But initially it was an initiative every month, you understand? Every month I need to give something back to the community, you understand? And that's still my aim. Every month I must still give something back to the community. Coming back to what you've said, I'm a graduate chief. There's so many graduates, and there's no job for them, etc., etc. You see, I'm not saying all of them. I'm a graduates when they graduate a varsity. Let's say you've studied, let's say your LLB, you're done with your LLB, you serve articles, you get admitted as an attorney, you're an attorney today. In my view, you don't have experience. You do not have experience. So with such graduates, abanye baba expect ukuthi if manje eza ubheke iguru njengamanje eza la ubheke iguru, he expects ukuthi akhokhelwe imali eningi. You understand? Akhokhelwe imali eningi as if an experience. That person is still learning, chief. If you're a graduate, uma way graduate, it does not mean that you can do the job. You understand? There's guys who have been there doing that job. You understand? So you can't be paid for argument's sake, but with most of the guys, you can come and we start from the bottom. You understand? So you need to start. So most graduates, they don't want to start from the bottom. You understand? I'm not saying all jobs are the same. They're not the same. And with graduates, if you have graduated as a doctor or have graduated as an accountant, does not mean you must wait and be employed as an accountant. No, you can still do other jobs. You can still become a cashier at the Shoprite Checkers while you're busy waiting for the opportunity to do what you have learned at school. But I'm a graduate also bahlele lokishini futhi bahlele kasi balinde ukuthi as a casual as a CA. You can't. You understand? So I'm a graduates, they must learn ukuthi if you're a graduate, you can venture into something else. Some of us, we worked at security guards, chief. Understand? Worked at security guards, and I can tell you there's so many guys I know who they started in my garage. Listen, my garage as petrol attendants. Not that they were not graduates. They were graduates. But they knew what awukho umsebenzi at that time. But bakula, bazibabela babakona. So that's the problem in Kasi life. That's the problem in Kasi life. You understand? What I've graduated. Where's to those who are privileged? You understand? Or to the but remember, not everyone comes from a township. We are so old. No, abanye abaso old. Abanye they are privileged. So umuntu uzohlala la ekhaya ne degree because akafuni ukuyosebenza as a petrol attendant ngoba ekhaya ku right. So ulinde ngento athole isipane sizomnikeza so much money. The pride. You understand? And the pride. Ngeke asipane as security guard lo muntu. Ngeke asipane security guard. So into ozoyenza uzohlala lapha. Abuyele futhi esikolweni. Is a degree. Abantu ama degree ayi5 ehlele ekhaya but angeke azasebenza. You understand? In as much as for my employees, what I've realized with my employees, I worked for 14 years as an employee. Some people, Professor Ritza used to say they resign and stay. So someone who resigns and stays, like we are just supposed to funa imali, funa ukhola. You understand? But akanandaba, doesn't want to grow, anything. If you're an employee, you must grow. You must look for other opportunities. If you apply for positions and you don't get the position, don't lose hope. Apply. And abasebenzi abaningi emsebenzini mase kasebenza kasafuna ukuzifundisa ukuthi azikhuphule. Understand? So they get comfortable. And I'm not saying ukuthi all employees are the same, but with salary usebenzela to pay ikoloto nazo. I understand? To pay ikoloto onazo, you back emsebenzini again after 2 days. I'm a deputy hambili impilo yaqhubeka. I understand? But there's so many people with potential emsebenzini that can develop themselves and become stronger. So yeah, I mean, that's why I started doing security guard with my wife. Since I like Osmo. And now, look, not that I want to brag, but in terms of finance, my company is doing well, and I managed even to build this house. It didn't even take me long. There's no bank which is being owed here. I keep banking as if it and fetch kolota. No, this was built through my hard work from Bheki Mavundla, you understand? And this house is paid off. You understand? There's no bank which can come here and say they want this house. I'm only worried about the land expropriation, which is being discussed now. Then what will happen now if they tell me that this is someone's land? What then must I do? You understand? But then the issue is, yes, it can be done. I've always told them, black child, it can be done. You only need to be positive. Remain humble and mix with the right people. Understand? Mix with the right people, Chief. Understand? If you want to build a career in journalism, I'm sure you know you have to mix with the right people, get the right connections. You understand? When you go on LinkedIn, what are you looking at? You're looking at those media houses. They become your friends. You understand? You mix with the right people. This stigma sasekasi ukuthi umuntu uhleli nje kasi. And I want to tell you something. Umsebenzi awuzeli. Yeah, uyawulanda and you look for it. And you look for it, you understand? So abantu basekasi, they need to be inspired. Chief, yes, there's guys who are doing well here, kasi. Some are DJ, some are you understand? But there's guys who are not known, kasi. There's guys who are doing well, like Lokshin, but you don't know them. Then we know them. Understand? So for one to succeed in life, Chief, you need to mix yourself with abantu abarait. Understand? Let's not right. But now, since I ventured into business, I learn every day from other business people. I learn every day. That is why I don't call myself I'm a labor law consultant, I'm a labor law expert. No, I don't call myself that. I'm a business person. I'm an entrepreneur. Understand? I'm an entrepreneur because I've realized, no, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.